This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado news on seconews.org. We're in Rocky Ford with Zak Gardner with, what is it, Rustic Chainsaw Designs. What's the name of the business?
Honestly, I'm just going back to Zak Gardner Chainsaw Carving.
Zak Gardner Chainsaw Carving.
Yep.
Very cool. Tells exactly what you do. It doesn't really represent the finished product very well. I don't think.
No.
It's nice to have your name on your business, though, right?
Yep. I had someone suggest the other day I should call myself the Wooden Craftsman.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we better get the legal team to check copyrights on that one.
No kidding. Right?
But anyways, you can find Zak here in his workshop in Rocky Ford downtown, just kind of across the street from the Grand Theater.
Yeah.
Most hours of the day. Before the interview, you were telling me about teaching some classes. That's going on up at Klein Makerspace, right?
Yeah, Klein Makerspace over in La Junta. So the last couple of months we've been doing some classes over there. They offer a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
Different classes on like rug hooking and welding, sign making. And then we started offering some chainsaw carving classes, and we've had some really good turnout and some really talented people come through. So hopefully if you're following them, you can check out the kind of work that we're doing over there, which is really awesome.
Yep.
And I'm super grateful to them for hosting me.
And of course, Klein Makerspace, one of our founding advertising contributors on seconews.org. So we'll be sharing that info on the news too, as you guys make progress. You were telling me that some of your students asked you, how do you hold the chainsaw for 12 hours a day?
A lot of practice. A lot of practice.
Okay.
Yeah,
making art from work.
It does. When you are doing that, if your arms start to get tired, you got to put it down because it just gets dangerous when you're really holding onto a machine like that.
Right.
And so normally, like new beginners, I can see about 4 hours of work, and then they start to get tired, and it's just getting too dangerous at that point. They're not as interested in it. They're getting more tired. So, we try and shorten it down for them. But for me, someone that's been doing it for a long time, I just hang on to that sucker and I go until the motivation stops and my feet hurt.
Okay. Very cool. How long have you been doing this?
I've been carving over 14 years now. I've been professional for 3, I want to say.
Cool. I feel like this is our 3rd or 4th interview. I know you've made the footage on some of the reels a couple times, and the donation with that eagle carving for the Rocky Ford Police Department.
Yep.
That was just awesome.
That was a really cool piece. I actually swung in there recently and went to go check on it and make sure that it hadn't started, cracking and stuff. Sometimes when you work on a piece of wood and then you put it inside where it's dry and there's no humidity, it can start shrinking and cracking. And actually I went by and it was beautiful. So I'm really thrilled about that.
Cool. And some other pieces like the turkey we're going to check out. You said you're going to coat that in epoxy.
Yeah.
Right? So that's going to prevent any of that.
Yep. So a customer here in Rocky Ford approached me about carving this turkey, and he's got a brother-in-law that lives out in Mississippi who owns a ranch called Turkey Ridge.
Okay.
And he said, as you pull up to this beautiful log cabin that he's got, there's nothing at the entrance to tell you that it's Turkey Ridge, that it's his farm. So we kind of made a beautiful carving for him. As soon as I'm done epoxying it, we're going to crate it up and we're going to ship it out to him. And I can't wait to see his reaction.
All right. Very cool. Ranch signage. Kind of a lot of unique products that come through this workshop, right?
I love doing anything really. I mean, if it's carving related, I'm definitely down. If you've got weird, crazy ideas of something you might want, I especially love those. If it can get me motivated and interested and thinking a lot. I love soundboarding with people so we can throw different ideas together. But the more interesting, the better, I say.
All right. So Zak, the Seco News Studios has an awesome dove carving that you did. There's a lot of stuff that you've got that's kind of on location because they're very much display pieces. You can see that eagle at the Rocky Ford Police Department. Can you name some other prominent locations, or actually any upcoming ones?
So as far as upcoming, I just recently did a very cool piece.
From a galaxy far, far away.
From a galaxy far, far away.
We're about to reveal it.
Yes. And I'm super excited to show that to everybody. We've kind of been waiting to do a big reveal on that one because it's something I'm really proud of. But as far as like future upcoming stuff, we've got the Santa Fe Trail Days is coming up, and me and my buddy Chris are going to be over there doing that.
Okay.
And then
so that's April 26th and 27th.
Yep,
we'll be there.
And then I want to give a huge shout out to my wood supplier, Kevin and Judy Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Here in Rocky Ford, they get me everything I need when it comes to doing all of these carvings. They also run a nonprofit, and
we hang out every October.
Yeah.
At the Goodwood, right?
The Goodwood Festival. I was there last year. You were there last year.
Yep. And find it on YouTube. Yep. We checked out. I'm trying to think of what you were doing. Was it a big turtle? It was like a big turtle.
I was doing a turtle, and you might have got some of the elephant I was carving too.
Okay.
But yeah, just having fun. That is a killer festival. It's going to be the 4th annual one.
October 5th.
Yep, October 5th. And they're also doing a whole bunch of charity stuff, like scholarships for kids, community stuff. So they're a big part of the community.
Absolutely.
And we really appreciate those guys.
Okay, very cool. Anyone else you want to mention?
So I'll wait a little bit. Well, maybe I should. So Chris, I told you, is going to be with me at the Santa Fe Trail Days. Chris and Elizabeth, and that's with Mystic Lotus, charms and gemstones and stuff like that. And they've been helping me out with some of my projects, getting those special rocks that I like to include in some of my sculptures. And you're going to see some of the stuff that they had gotten to me that I kind of got to incorporate into this next carving that we're going to see. So I'm super excited. Big shout out to those guys. Thank you so much. And cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I love it.
Yep. Here comes the big reveal from Zak Gardner, Chainsaw Art of Rocky Ford, Colorado. Thank you for keeping art alive in the valley.
Hey man, I try. I know that I've been really slammed lately. The beginning of the year was just crazy for me. And I know that there's some people out there that have been waiting a long time for me to jump to their project. I promise I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just keeping the ball rolling and trying to get as much stuff done as I can.
There we go. Hey, same goes for Seco News. If you guys are waiting for your help wanted ads, they're coming up real soon. Thank you so much for your time, Zach. Thank you for your contributions to the community.
Hey, thank you, man, for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I love sharing with the community.
All right. From Rocky Ford, Colorado, for Zak Gardner with your Southeast Colorado News, I'm Adrian Hart.
Floating rock was such a cool idea, man.
I dig it.
Yeah.
There you go, Zach. So tell me about the gemstones.
So it's labradorite, and it's a gemstone that's supposed to be for like healing and like psychic energy, not like telepathic, but
so this is where Yoda's getting his force energy from,
exactly,
right here.
So yeah, we wanted it to resemble, Yoda using his force and bringing things together
and making that rock float.
Yeah.
What type of rock is that? Do we know?
It would be slate.
Slate. Very nice and polished. And what was the name of the rock shop?
That was Mystic Lotus. That's Chris and Elizabeth.
Kind of helping you take this piece out of this world. Huh?
Yeah. So I had called Chris and I'd said, "Hey, buddy, I have this idea. I want to add some gemstone into this, or some crystal, or something to this piece, and I want it to represent like the force." And he was the one that actually suggested the labradorite, and he said, "I have a bunch of it. It's beautiful. It shines. It turns blue and green and red and orange and purple." And he said, "I think that'd be perfect representation for you." So I hooked up with him and got it and did the crushing myself, and then it spent days gluing it all on and then epoxying it, and I think it came out wonderful.
So this is a life-sized proportion
Yoda. Yep, he's 2'2".
About how much does this piece weigh?
About 160 pounds. So not life weight Yoda.
Right. He's a little bit heavy for 2 foot. So Zach, in addition to Yoda, you got Grogu here.
Yeah.
And his favorite entree, these
Yeah,
one-eyed frogs.
Yeah, those one-eyed frogs that he loves to eat. One of the favorite funny moments in The Mandalorian was him gulping down stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Him always eating, and maybe even eating some things he should not be eating. But in this case,
The
he
eggs
loves
frogs and yeah.
so we wanted to get some of those one-eyed frogs in there and, get some of him squeezing and gulping them down.
Grogu, the perfect complement here to the Yoda statue.
Yeah.
He's also life-size, right?
Yes, he is.
But he's about half the size of Yoda. Well, a foot tall.
Yeah.